First of all, welcome to Pop Your Shit.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, my apologies for being late.
Okay.
Let me tell you, these little gremlins, you know who I'm talking about.
The
Cookie and
dogs.
Skittle. They decided they want to act a whole donkey just right now.
They
Just
kids.
right
They
now.
kids. So look, they the kids too.
Okay, let me turn up this camera. There you go. Uh-oh, did I do something wrong? Okay. So welcome to Pop Your Shit, because I'm going to have to edit that part out. How you doing?
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
So, if you guys don't know who this lady to the right of me is, this is the beautiful, the talented, the Lesanda Moore. Okay, ma'am, welcome. I just finished, hold on, Accepting Destiny and Frosty Beginnings. The the first thing I want to say is thank you for the discussion questions because they're going up after we finish this broadcast. Because I'm about to answer every question. And so we now we create mahogany. What is it called? Mahogany. What
Oh,
is it called? Baby,
oh.
I done took notes. Where my notes at? Where my notes at? So mahogany's. What is it? What is my notes? Okay, Mahogany Falls. Uh-oh.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Here we
I was just
go.
turning on my Wi-Fi.
So we didn't create a Mahogany Falls,
Yes.
and we done got some couples. So inquiry for me, Parker. What is going on with Parker?
So Parker. Okay. So when I thought about doing the series, right, I knew I wanted to do standalone romances. So each book will follow a different couple, and no matter how many books I wrote in the series, wherever you join in at, you can pick up on any book, and the crucible will be the town, right? So the town would be what link everybody together. And Parker just happened to be, she the waitress inside of the diner. So everybody's gonna encounter Parker in their books, and I'm gonna eventually give her her own book too, because she gotta, yeah.
So Parker over here causing problems. She let the ladies know I'm available too. I'm sorry if I'm spoiling it for somebody. I just need to know where Parker fit in because Parker was doing a whole lot, but not a lot. But she was doing a lot. So she's a town Jezebel.
I guess you can kind of say she's real flirtatious. So like, yeah, because that in the next book she's gonna be, yeah, she will be flirting.
Not rough, not rough flirtations. I have to use it. I'm hollering. Okay. So then the first story follows is it Sanaya? Is it Sanaa?
Yes,
Is that how you say her name?
Sanaa,
Because I still don't know how to
Sanaa.
say that lady's name.
It's okay,
Thank
Sanaa,
you.
Sanaa.
It's Sanaa and Armand. So,
Yeah, and
so, so Sanaa is divorced and bitter, and was she? So they're not high school sweethearts, but they shared a kiss,
yes, yes.
and the kiss
They share.
said, he said, I'm never gonna leave you again. Hey Tanya, hey Miss Mellow Yellow. I'm sorry. Hi everybody. Thank you. And then the second book follows Shatori and Ralph.
Mm-hmm.
So Ralph had a little bit of a pass,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And then Shatori is a baby mama, but Miracle who in the big house. And then she has a son by listen. I felt like I belonged in Mahogany Farm. I felt like that. I listen. Um, yeah. Um, are we going to see more of Sanaa and Shatori, Ralph, and Armand?
Yes. Oh, okay. So the next book that comes out follows Caleb and Brielle, and then I was thinking about doing like a. I don't know if I want to do a holiday one specific, but I was thinking about doing like a Mahogany Falls wedding. So when you go to read the book, you're not gonna know who's getting married in the book. right? So
Okay.
so it's gonna be a surprise with who's getting married in the book, out of the couples and stuff. When you do get to see them, a reunion and all that stuff. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I was first introduced to you by, was it Professor? No, Dr. Zaddy.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
mean that with every Zaddy in me. Josiah had me. Yes, Listen, Linda. Ma'am, you had me with him. And then we had a few reading sprints with you. We, I finished, so I didn't finish, I finished Karma's, was it Chaotic Karma? What's the name of the
Yes,
book?
yes. Chaos.
Yeah, Karma's Chaos. And that book was absolutely batshit crazy because it was a whole lot going on. But Tayo's Trials and Tribulations, even though he was messy a little bit, I liked him. I like his redemption. I did. I really enjoyed him learning through Green Eyes, as I call her,
Yeah.
how her name is Envy, right? How
Mm-hmm.
they see, I don't remember names, but I remember the story. I liked how she kind of brought out that softer side of him, that okay, let me get responsible side of him, let me take care of my baby, my child, since now I know I got one. I like his coming of maturity.
Right.
So I do. I like that. I like to see you responsible. I like you.
Yes. So when he was reading it live with books we learned and discussed, they was like, because Tyrone now he don't get to come out of jail and be living good like Jasmine. He don't get to do this, and it was his redemption story. Like in a lot of my stories, a common theme is like second chances. So whether it's second chances in love, second chances in life, is second chances is a big thing.
Right.
So even when I don't intend for it to be that thing, it's still underlined. It's
Okay.
always there. And, he deserved a second chance. Like he was a product of his environment, which is a lot of black men's story. And he had to learn that he was the problem, that he had to take accountability for his actions. And if he didn't see that he was doing wrong, then he didn't feel like he had anything to change. I mean, when the book started out, for Christ's sake, he was in jail and he was still hustling and
Right.
still womanizing. So nothing changed. It's that people just behind bars.
But
He
to
was still
me,
doing.
it's refreshing to see that once a dog, not always a dog. And he turned out to be like, you know what, I might could give you a chance. And she really stuck it out with him. And the mama, she must have took a liking to him because I was like, that the mama trying to help out.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So now that we got those books out the way, and I'm gonna implore that everybody check out her catalog, because when I tell you her catalog is fire, and I think I noticed that you do journals and you got some children's books. So tell us about your catalog.
Yep. Okay. So journals. I had started making journals first, like when I was just toying around with Amazon and learning the KDP platform. I had learned how to make journals. Right. So I have some plain blank journals with just the black woman on the front,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have some that are prompted journals. So two of them are like 50 writing prompts to discover, your life outside, like for wives, to love you, to discover yourself again outside of your marriage. And
Right.
the other is for busy moms to discover themselves outside of being a mother. Because once you take on all those hats, it's like you really bury yourself and who you are. And it's really important to rediscover and to hold on to those things and carve out that time to still um, be who you are outside of being a parent or a mother,
Mm-hmm.
or when you have all these responsibilities. Because I know
Right.
I went through that experience, and I'm sure a lot of mothers do. And I was just like, look, I'm tired of the mundane stuff. It's like every day it's the same thing. I'm getting up, I'm going to work, I'm taking care of the kids, I'm coming home, I'm cooking, I'm going to bed, I'm getting up doing the same thing. Like I wanted to travel, I wanted to write books, I wanted to go back, and I just started doing it. So I figured that would give women a chance to get inside their own head for a bit and just journal, just take one of the prompts and just write it out, and then go back and reflect on that stuff and hopefully revisit some of those things that made them happy once upon a time. So That was
When
really
did you fall in love with writing though? When did that start? And then what was your first story, published or unpublished?
okay. Um, I've been writing since I was a kid. Like my favorite place was the library. I always loved books.
Hmm.
I wrote a story in elementary school, and I had won a Young Authors Award. And I remember the book, and I remember taking it home, and I was so excited about it. But I continued to write from there.
Hmm.
When I was in like middle school and high school, I started writing songs and poetry. So then I started dabbling in that area, and I did that for a few years. But I want to say like really getting back into writing for real, besides like journaling and stuff, I was 40. I mean, I had been learning about writing and story structure and writing for children and all of that stuff. And then I had went back to college, so I was in school too. For 5 years straight, I was in school. And but at the same time, I was still learning about writing because I knew that was next. And so yeah, so it's been about 4 years now. Yeah, I turned 40. Published.
How has the journey been as an author? I know there's ups and downs, but what has your journey been like as a published author?
Wow. I can say it's been a chaotic, beautiful journey so far. In these 4 years, almost 4 years. Come next month, January. Um, I learned so much about myself, and I learned so much about other people. Um, and it's making me a better communicator too. Like putting myself out there, talking to other people, meeting other people, whether it's other authors or cover designers or content creators and readers. It's just like it's it's different from what I expected it to be. Um, when you think of it in terms of not like what success means to you, it's a lot different than what I thought it would be starting out. Now that I'm 4 years in,
Okay. Okay.
I don't know. But
What does support look like for you? What does family support look like? What does friendship support, or do you get support just by just diving into this book community?
um, like I said on Olivia's interview when I was on watching Pop Your Ish, when Olivia was up there and I typed in the comments that God was send strangers. Like strangers have really helped so much tremendously along this journey. Times when I was like, okay, well, I done wrote a couple books now. If they ain't gonna read them, then like people would come in into my DM and say, okay, I haven't read books in years, and I picked up one of your books and I love it. And I can't wait to read more, or just along the way when I wake up, if I'm having a bad day and I look on TikTok or on social media and somebody sharing my book, and how much they liked it, and listening to what parts of the stories resonated with them, and thinking back to when I wrote it, why I wrote it, and that support comes from strangers. Like I had one of my cousins share like my posts online. Nobody else in my family shares my stuff. Like I don't really have friends like that because I mean I'm in my 40s, so like after a certain amount of time when you're not doing the same thing that you used to do and you're evolving into a different person, a lot of
Right.
people fall off. So I don't really have friends.
Do you think that because we're women of a particular age, and I'm just gonna say over 40, because you know how old I am,
Yeah.
do you feel like now that you understand what it is that you're going after, um, and people really just don't understand this community, that they just kind of shut it off like it's really nothing? Or do you feel like they'd be like, oh wow, you're an author? Because I find that sometimes, not well necessarily all of my friends, and I'm not saying that about that, but I notice like sometimes in my family, like, they'd be like, you read too much, or you do this too much, or you do that too much. You so busy on TikTok. Well, I'm building a business now. I have some writing aspirations, and this is the best way for me to learn is from other authors. So, excuse me if I don't want to go out all the time, or if I'm being standoff. I'm not being standoffish, but if I'm busy, I'm not just twiddling my thumbs. Like, this
That's
is
how it
real work for me. Do you
is. And
find that people do that to you as an author? Like you're supposed to just write a quick story and that's real simple?
Yeah, I think it goes back to you finding your own process and sticking to it, and not looking to see what other people are doing, because there's people out here that's dropping books every month, and then there's people out here that's dropping books every week, right? So I know authors that drop books every week. So if you know you can't do that, don't be trying to bog yourself down and worry yourself out. Just find your own process, stay in your own lane. I think for me, people outside of the book community, I'm grateful that for the first time in my life, and it's crazy to say at 44 years old, that I feel like I found my people. Like, books is what I always loved. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like for the first time in my life, writing and putting my work out there and putting myself out there, I finally found the right people. Like, I don't know. That might sound crazy to some people, but it's true.
You found your tribe. You found your
I
book
feel
tribe.
closer to the people that love to read books and write books and just love everything about literature. I feel closer to them than the people that I've been around my whole life. you know,
I,
so
I,
it's just
I'm a dare to agree with you. I do. I mean, I'm not saying that my other relationships have suffered, and maybe slightly, but I think I found my tribe at my ripe old age of
right.
50 plus.
It took
And
it.
right, and it's not that it took a long time, because I mean, I think that I found good friendships throughout my life. I don't think I'm looking to find like someone to go outside with me anymore. I have those
Right.
friends. I have friends that are fitting whatever the occasion is, and then whatever I can't find somebody to do, my family go have to do it.
Right. Right.
But to find someone with an interest like mine, that's kind of hard to find.
It is. It is.
Somebody discuss these books with, and then to be able to call, not call the author, but be like in your messages, be like, man, why did you do that? Who
You
told
know what's
you to give him a redemption story?
right, right, because it was like, no, Tyrone don't deserve a second chance. A second chance. He don't deserve to be happy. But everybody deserves to be happy. At some point, we all have to learn to err our ways, because we don't. You don't know. It's like a butterfly never knows how beautiful they are because they can't see their wings. Only we can
Right.
see them. So it's the same way for people. A lot of times you don't know when you're doing wrong until like you really get that to sit down and realize, like, hold on, I'm the problem.
Do some of your characters come from real life people, or it's just they just made
I think
up?
it's a combination of like all my life experiences. People I've been around, people I probably work with, people I encounter, and then it just go into my brain, and then some type of weird way it just spits it out. And these characters might be like four different people in one. Have
Right.
attributes from like four different people, but
Right.
all of them always have some type of attributes of me, whether it's maybe my thought process or a certain situation or how I perceive things. So they always an extension of me. Um,
Which character is most like you, though?
Oh wow. Um, hmm. And it's so crazy to say. I think Josiah is the most like me. Single dad. Yeah. I think Josiah out of all
Okay.
my characters.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to. I'm picturing Josiah, and then your personality, and I can. Y'all kind of even keeled. Nothing rattles you too much. Not that I know. Y'all kind of even kill type of people. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, 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 okay. But wait a minute. So Diaka says, I love him, and I do too. We're not gonna fight over him though.
Exactly.
We fight over somebody else. um, can you read and write at the same time?
Yeah. But it depends on when I'm drafting, when I'm working on my first draft, I don't read anything. I won't read anybody else's books. But if I'm on like second draft, third draft, fourth draft, or proofread and stuff like that, yeah, I can read other books. And most of the time, I'll read like a different genre. If I'm writing romance, I'm reading a thriller. I'll go read
Okay.
thrillers or something. Or I try out a different genre. I read all kinds of stuff. So you might catch me reading a nonfiction book or sci-fi, just all type of stuff. I want to learn about everything. So I'm
And
always
see,
reading about
I
things.
I want to say I'm going across genres. Like I like thrillers. I like the suspense thrillers. I'm liking. I'm new to paranormal, so I'm liking it. I'm liking a little fantasy. I'm learning the different subgenres in fantasy and paranormal, which is interesting to me because I didn't know. um, I am a romance girly through and through. I don't care if it's street lit, if it's contemporary. I like a good love story. I like to see people fall in love, even if it's not in my own life. But I like to see it
Right.
fall in. I like to see people fall in love and they get there happily ever after. I feel like men deserve it and women do too.
They do.
Okay, okay. Um, what are the ingredients of a good character for you?
Mm. Somebody that's relatable. So when you read these books and you see these characters, it could be your sister, your brother, your neighbor, your coworker, somebody you know from down the way. Definitely flawed. Definitely have some type of flaws because nobody is perfect in real life. So we got to have these characters that got some flaws. They got to get on your nerves and spark some type of emotion. Um, hmm. I don't know so much as what makes a good character besides having, making them have a flaw. But as far as like characteristics and different things, I got to make sure I know what they want, what they need to learn about themselves by the end of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and most of the time, I just fill it in like that, and then I'll just create the characters that way. Because I know it might be odd because I hear people say different things come to them first, but my titles usually come to me first. So the
Really?
title of the book, yes, the title of the book comes to me, and then I write the book. The only book that the title didn't come first was my Zaddy Ink book, and that was because it was a part of a project. So we were doing a project with the whole Zaddy Ink, and I was just thinking, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a fake dating, um, and I was like, I know he's gonna be older, more mature character, and a single dad, but I didn't know the name, and I didn't think of the name until I was into the, started drafting the first draft, and then I was like, okay, second time around, yeah, we can go with that. So
Okay.
yeah, but the other stories, my titles always came to me first, and then
So
I created characters around that I needed to tell those specific stories.
so okay. So are you a person that has to outline and then create your story, or are you just flying by the seat of your pants?
No. I fly by the seat of my pants when I write, but I do create notebooks. I create like these small journals with tabs in them, and then I'll do
Mhm.
like my main characters, possible scenes. I do like 3 or 4 brainstorming sessions where I just start writing anything I think that comes up in my mind, like maybe about backstory, and like side characters that I need to help them get them to you know, the end of the story for them to arc. Um, and that's it. And once I feel like I got enough of the story flowing in my head, then I sit down and draft. Because anytime I've ever tried to outline, I don't stick to the outline, and I find it hard. I feel like it's harder for me to outline a story that I don't know what the story is yet. Right? So like when I write my first draft, I'm telling myself the story. And then I go back and do inventory, and then I outline and do a chapter by chapter summary of what I have. And then I know what I'm working with going into starting the
I
next
saw
one.
this lady, because I went to YouTube University for a little while, just trying to figure out writing process. And I probably did this for like 6 to 8 months. Um, where she would pick out like this will be a unaliving, this will be a second chance romance, and then she kind of created from there. Do you have those elements first, or do you? I mean, create your tropes first, or do you just write and whatever the trope come in is that's how it go?
Oh no, ma'am. I learned after writing my first 3 books, as far as marketing is concerned, you need to know those things up front. I know what my tropes are going to be up front. I know what I'm going to be writing about. If it's second chance, I know it's going to be a second chance romance. If it's a small town, I know it's going to be a small town romance because you have to be able to know what it is that you presenting to people. They know what
Mm-hmm.
they want. They're gonna say, I want this, that, and the third. So y'all see when I come up, I'm putting if you looking for a small town romance, single dad, I'm putting them tropes in there. I'm gonna let you know what's in the book. Because if that's what you're looking for, then I got that for you. So
Okay.
yeah, I picked my books out first. Yeah, I picked those out before I started.
Okay. Word count. That boggles me. I just, just I, I don't know if I got 100,000 words in me. Does that bother you?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am, it does not because when I start out, I know what word my word count is going to be also, and I do that for pacing purposes, right? So if I say I'm gonna write a short that's going to be 15,000 words, by the time I get done with that book, through subsequent drafts, it's still going to be around that area. Now, if I'm writing it and I feel like it needs to be a little bit longer, then I will write it longer. But I'm kind of dead set. If I say, okay, this is going to be 30,000 words, I want it to be 30,000 words. If it's going to be 35,000, I want it to be 35,000. I'm not, yeah, 100,000 words. I don't know. I don't know. I think the age that I am now is like I don't want to I don't want to wait for 100,000 words for to see these people get their happily ever after. I'm sorry. Some
Or
books I
what
can read.
books qualify as 100,000 words? Like okay, so we have the Great Huffingtons, and don't get me wrong, these are some of my favorite authors.
Yes,
We got the
yes.
Ashley Antoinettes who can write 100,000 words, and they still writing on that same plot, but you didn't cry, you didn't pass out, you didn't slid down some walls. I've slid down some walls with you too, but it's not 30,000 words. I mean, 100,000 words. How? I mean, is that just that's just what I'm not gonna do?
I'll tell you something too about that. Now, I did that for two different reasons. The reason why I know what my word count goal is going in is because I wanted to challenge myself to learn how to write short stories, how to write novellas, how to write novels, how to write series, interconnected series, standalone series, how to write in first person, how to write in dual POV, how to write in third person. I wanted to challenge myself so that I could learn how to do all of those things, right? So that's what I did. As I was writing books, if I took a series, I said, okay, I'm gonna write it this way. Or if I do this series, I'm gonna do it this way. If I write this book, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try that. So I was priding myself on learning how to do those things because it is a skill set. Like everybody can't write short stories, everybody can't write novellas, and everybody can't write novels. So it's some people you'll pick up novels and it's no shade against nobody, but I'll pick up a novel that's 350 pages, and that story could have been told in 150 pages. Like you just
Yeah.
gave me the extra pages that I didn't need, and I
Instead of
don't like.
saying
I
instead
don't
of
like.
saying she lightly tapped the door, instead of saying, oh, she just knocked on the door.
You know what I'm saying? Like some stuff you can go into detail if it's meant for that scene to build suspense or something like that. But to just like I can't. My brain just be like okay, and I don't like DNF in books, and I don't like skimming over stuff. So I make myself read anyway. But yeah, I just want to teach myself how to or how to do it all, how to write short and how to write long.
But how do you know which if you're going to write in first person or third person, or if you're going to write in dual POVs? How do you already have that preset?
Yeah. Yeah, when I go into the story, I already have that preset. I wrote one book that I wrote in third person, and when I read back through the first draft, I didn't like how it flowed, so I ended up writing the whole book over in first person dual POV.
Okay.
And that's a task. So I learned my lesson about doing that. So yeah, I know exactly what I'm writing, and how I'm writing it when I go in.
Okay. Um, you primarily write contemporary romance, primarily. Which genre that you have not tapped into that you want to go into?
Oh, and this coming up soon. Romantic suspense.
Okay.
Romantic
So
suspense.
you about to really
Because one
just
of the books.
go and have me just thrown up against the wall.
Yep. Cause see, I love romance, and whenever
Hmm.
I watch stuff, whether it's fantasy or crime fiction or anything like that, I always look for those little underlying relationships. The little romantic parts, like say Queen of the South. Like her and James, I was waiting for that throughout the whole, what I'm saying, the series. So I like a lot of crime fiction. I like a lot of psychological thrillers. I like a lot of assassins, and what I'm saying, they riding through the city and they running from the police and they gotta keep be on the run. Like I like stuff like that. So
Mhm.
I'm definitely getting ready to start tapping into that into 2025. So yeah.
Ooh, child, you about to have us all somewhere clutching our pearls. I'm sure. Because
Oh
every
yeah,
time
people
I
be getting chloroform.
so research purposes,
Yeah. For
when you
research
write,
purposes. For research purposes, people be gonna get chloroformed and stuff, for just entertainment purposes in books. Not in real life. We ain't chloroforming folks in real life.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. And I can't wait. Um, when you first saw your name on the cover of your book, your first published piece, how'd that make you
Mm-hmm.
feel?
It was so exciting because my first book published was my children's book, right? Like I had did the journals and stuff, but like that was just, but for practice. But fiction books, when I first saw my first children's book and my name on the cover, I was so excited. I felt like that kid all over again. Cause like I still read
Oh,
children's books. My kids used to come in and be like, "Mom, what are you doing?" I'd be still watching YouTube, listen to the story time, then read children's books, and I'd be falling asleep listening to children's books.
does it get to you when your children, or does it get to when somebody that you know be like, oh, that's my friend, or that's my sister, that's my mom. She's an author.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like when one of my sons, when my oldest son, because I got a 25-year old, when one of his girlfriends had DM'd me and she was reading my books and she loves them. She reads all my books now, and it was just special. I just felt special. I was like, oh, my son girlfriend reading my books, like, huh?
Wait, so that be had funny story. So my son, his girlfriend, she's Filipino, and so she knows that I'm a avid reader. My son, I guess he be talking. I don't know. I can't tell. And so he
Yeah.
goes, Mom, I'm gonna say her name. Such and such wants um some book recommendations.
Okay.
I was like, my book recommendation? He's like, yeah. I said, do she know what kind of books I read? She goes, yeah, she's been watching your content. I was like, I know you effing lying. So if you all here, you know who I'm talking about. I'd be like, I know you lying. I know.
Uh huh.
And I don't know if they get a kick out of me or not, but here I am.
That's
Here I
awesome.
is.
That's that's awesome because she gets to see a different side of his mom. And she get to
Right.
see you in your element because you love books, and it's obvious that you love books, and that's best for people to see you when you're in your element. Like I firmly believe that. Like when you said that earlier about like people not. I just feel like at the age I am now, I'm done building relationships with people because of trauma and all this other stuff. Because we got baby daddies and all this other. Like nah, let's build some friendships on some stuff that we passionate about. Like yeah.
Now, see, if you could listen, you can get me when you say we going out of town. I'm all in. You can get me then.
Yep.
Listen, you can get me saying, okay,
Traveling.
we traveling, a good somewhere good to eat.
That's it.
Now,
That's
if I'm
it.
already outside, then we gonna have some good cocktails. We gonna do that. So that's
That's they
that.
know that. Oh, they know that's the only way to get me out. Like my god sister called me like a week ago, and she was like, "What you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I just finished cooking for the kids." She was like, "Don't eat. I'm gonna come pick you up. We gonna go out and eat." And okay, yeah. 'Cause other than that, y'all know I'm not going nowhere unless it's traveling or going to get me some good food and seeing the family sometimes. That's it.
Well, I'm just gonna go and put it out there right now. I have LaShawn. If y'all don't thank y'all. Um, LaShawn, I think she's in here right now, and we were in another live, and so Black Girl Tired Book Talk. She's putting together a trip to Africa,
Oh,
2026,
okay.
Dirty
Oh, okay.
December. So just put that in the back of your
Oh,
mind.
okay. Okay.
Just for the
So yeah,
mature.
what part? What part?
I think
What
she
country?
said we were going to Lagos for
Okay. Okay.
just 3 or 4 days and come on back
Okay.
just to experience Dirty December.
Mm-hmm.
So she trying to get the grown folk outside. So Yeah, she said
Yeah.
Dirty December 2026.
Okay.
So
30 December.
I'll just keep watching my feed. You'll see it around there soon. I think come January or February. So
I gotta see where I'm gonna be at in this doggone world, honey. I gotta see where I'm at in this doggone world because I've been thinking about moving abroad for years, and like it's just being pushed more and more to the forefront of my mind. So by 2026, I might be meeting up with y'all in Lagos. Look, I might be already out there
um,
somewhere. Meet up with
but
y'all in Lagos.
listen, that's interesting. Where are you going? Where thou are going? Because I might be wanting to come.
Damn, I'm getting up out of here. My kids are my oldest is 25. My younger two are 15 and 17. The 17-year-old graduates in May, and the other one she's so smart she can do everything online.
I'm moving. I just don't know where I'm moving to.
Me neither. I'm going to go out there and find some places. I'm gonna have to go a couple of different places and figure out what feel right. But I'm getting up out of here.
I feel like I don't know what's in store for us for the next 4 years, and I hate to say it that way. We don't know what's in
I
store.
know.
I'm just gonna implore people: if you don't have your passport, you might want to go ahead and
Better
get
get
one,
it.
like right
I was
now.
checking mine the other night. And I was talking to my son. I got to get mine renewed. Um, because I got to get it renewed. I think by like October next year or something like that. But I can always go to a consulate in another country.
Hmm.
So
Girl, look, when you say my children are just about grown, I could go.
yeah, they going with me.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So, what do you love about being an author and what do you hate about it?
Mm. I love building community. I love coming up with ideas for the story. I love seeing it in the physical from something that manifested in my mind. It started out with like I might have heard a song or a line, or something that just triggered it, and then it ends up being this book that I can share with other people. I'm grateful that I'm at the point in my life now where I'm confident enough to share my writing with other people because I didn't share it a lot. Only certain people was able to read it, but now I like sharing it and share it with people, listen to what they have to say, seeing what different parts resonate with them. Um, and I'm just grateful because when I first started out on this journey, like really, really going all in, I was like, okay, I'm writing these books, but is this a selfish endeavor? You know what I'm saying? Is this really purpose driven? Or am I just doing this because it's something I wanted to do and it was another goal I wanted to check off my bucket list or my list?
Right.
And being able to talk to readers and be in these spaces and hearing people talk about the escape it provides for them. You know what I'm saying? Like now I understand. It all makes sense now. Um, and I don't think I really hate nothing about writing. It's just that starting a new book, like, and that imposter syndrome that you go through every time. It's like, can I really do this? Like, how did I write these other books? Like, can I write this book? Can I do this again? Can I pull this off again? But yeah,
I I understand exactly where you're coming from. Like, okay, is this purpose driven? Like I kept saying, well, where do I fit into this bookish community? Do I want to try and write my own book? Do I want to do something more, or do I want to do something different? Is this am I? But I feel like I have the right to be selfish. I haven't been selfish for a very long time. I have the right to be selfish. My kids is grown. Mine is
that's right. And
grown, grown. So why not? But then again, I still have my father. And again, even though he's independent now, you
mhm,
could tell that he's not going to be independent for forever. So
yeah,
there
same
you
with my
have it.
mom. Mom has MS. My mom has MS, and we just moved her down to North Carolina with my older sister earlier this year. But before that, for like the 2 years before that, she can't walk anymore. So she had nurses coming in the daytime, and then she had a night nurse. But she got to the point where she was cussing the people out. She was firing them. She was locking them out of the house. You know, the people calling me, they like she knows she can't live on her own by herself, but she want to still have her own place. Then it was just a lot. And I was like, Mom, look, we can't do this no more. Like, I love you, but you can't live on your own anymore. So now she's down there with my sister. So I know how that is. Like, and then too, like, this bookish space, like, it's so amazing because, like, I've been going through so much stuff in the last 6 months. I lost two of I lost my nephew on July 4th, and then my niece
Oh
had an
no.
aneurysm 2 days before Thanksgiving and was put on life support. And she, that she was on life support for maybe about 2 weeks. So we have to get to have her funeral next month. Like, it's been so much, and all I can say is, like, staying in books and writing these stories and reading books and just having something to look forward to.
Well,
So
my condolences. You hear him in the chat sending up prayers for you and your family because I know that is tough. But does that, okay, so for me, books is my sanity. I don't care how crazy the book is.
yeah,
A book is my sanity. When them other people get on my nerves, I know I can go in this book, even though they might be batshit crazy. It is my
I
sanity.
be hollering at the people in the books. I be like, "What? Why did you do that? Like, no, bro, what is you doing? Like, no, no." I be here talking to these people like they real.
I know you see my video. I know you've seen the video. Why do I talk to these people like they real?
Yeah,
Like we gonna solve this problem together in real life. What is going on with me in my mind? Because I know I'll be talking back. Hella funny, hella funny. So there go that Bay Area in me. What's the ingredients to a good plot?
hmm. I think for me, since I write romance, I feel like those stories are more character driven, but you do still have to have a plot. Um, I usually don't put a lot of tension as far as in my books, or a lot of plot twists. But I think what would make a good plot for me as a reader, and I try to implement this in my stories as well, is when I open the book and I get that question, and that question lead me all the way through the book. Please answer the question for me by the end of the story. Please don't have me trying to guess and trying to figure out what's going on. Some stories are written, and yes, the ending is implied, and it's written so well that even though it's not on the page, you know what's gonna happen,
Right,
right?
right.
Off the page. But I think a good plot, like, you gotta, whatever doors you open up, please, you have to close them. You gotta close them. Don't mention something in the story that ain't got nothing to do with the plot line, and then later on you'd be like, well, why was that in there? Well, what happened to this or what happened to that? Just whatever. If you open the door, just close it. Just just close it.
So Books and Locks 90 asked about our book.
Oh, but our book. Hold on, y'all. Y'all talking about the perfect match? That's coming in February. Baby, it's coming. I told you I won't play. I'm a woman of my word. That's coming in February. We're going to be doing I don't have the specific date yet because we're going to be doing a 14 days of Black Love in February, like we did the 12 days of Black Christmas with Nina Hyde and me and a bunch of other authors. We're going to do it again in February for
I
Valentine's
didn't
Day.
know you were serious.
And y'all book is going to be the book that I'm dropping. Yeah. I'm not playing. I told y'all I won't playing. Yeah.
Y'all got your
Yeah.
answer. You ask and you shall receive. Listen, Linda. First of all, I didn't know
Bianca
it
and
was a.
Darrell,
I can
Bianca
hear
and
you.
Darrell is their story. Bianca and Darrell's story is coming because that's the main characters' names. Bianca and Darrell. Their love story coming.
Yeah, listen. See how y'all influenced this lady? See how y'all influenced this lady? Lady! And she just over here so sweet, just smiling.
Yeah, I told you I was gonna do it because I was thinking about that. I was like, because I got the third book from Mahogany Falls is coming up is coming up too. But I said I'll put that on hold and I'll write y'all a book first, and then I'll write that one.
How many books do you think you're going to have in Mahogany Falls, or is this going to be a forever thing?
Mm, when I originally planned it out, I said I was gonna do 6. Then I said Three. But people love it, Mahogany Falls. So I'm feeling like I need to just,
You need them six.
yeah, I need them six.
You need them six. I'm here for it. You know who I need to have a book?
Who?
What's her mom? The girl's mama. What's her mama's name? Because I know she messing around with the mechanic. I need them. I need them somewhere in somebody's store. I need her to be getting married.
Yeah, okay. You talking about
I need the mama to
Sanaz?
get married. What is her name? In Frosty Beginnings. I need mama to get married, or mama to 'cause I need to know more about mama and her boo thing.
And book
I'm just
three, the
saying.
next one. Thank you, boo. Look, I had to do something to my hair because I know the book been busy. Got her YouTube page, and I said, "Hold on, I ain't finna be on YouTube looking like a runaway slave. Let me try to do something. Look at her decent." So I do something to my dog hair.
For real, I need the mama to have a story. If y'all haven't read Frosty Beginnings and Accepting Destiny, I actually got Accepting Destiny. You gave me another book, and I can't remember which one it was, but I
Oh,
probably already read it.
what the
Say
heart
which
wants?
one? Yes,
That's what the heart wants. The one when she got met the dude on the cruise.
yes, yes. I'm just saying, all your books are bangers.
Thank you.
Um, do you ever get a big head?
I try not to. Okay. Like I've always been so humble. I've never been good at taking compliments. So when people would ever say, "Oh, you look pretty, you look nice," oh, that's it, I was like, "Oh, okay." But now that I'm an author, and now that I read through my work, I be so proud of myself for what I did. And then when I hear other people talk about it, I'm like, oh, "Okay, Lou, you did that." Hmm.
But is that a
But
big
that
head or is that confidence?
just confidence. That was my word for the year. When I did my planner and picked my word for the year for 2024, it was definitely confidence. So yeah, it's just confidence, not a big head. I don't think it's a big head.
Yeah, because I don't see that in you. I get a big head. Because I'd be like, girl, listen, somebody told me I'm the Oprah Winfrey. I got a big head. My sister's like, bring it back down. Come on and bring it back down. But no, I'm very humble by this experience. But I think it's confidence. I don't see a big head. I see confidence. What is one thing you will always include in your books?
Oh, humor, cause I'm funny. So I think I always have it. Always be humor in my books because I'm funny. So my characters, some of them be funny or they say funny things. But I think maybe some type of love story, even if the main story is not a romance. The B story is gonna have some type of romance in it somewhere. It's gonna be some folk falling in love
One
somewhere.
thing that I love that you do is the build up.
Mhm.
That build up be everything. I'll be like on the edge of my seat, like, damn it, I want it. Do I need to go handle my business so I can finish what's going on? Because it be the build up for me. How is that? To me, that's a gift. Not everybody can write a build up.
Mhm.
How is that something that's easy for you?
I think the reason why I do the build ups is because I feel like I've read books that were really good books, but when it came to the sex part, it was just like it was plopped in it. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And I'd rather it be fused into the story and you ready and you want them people to, you know what I'm saying? You like, yeah, it's time. You know what I'm saying? Everything just flow accordingly. So yeah, I kind of do that intentionally. Yeah. Yeah.
What's the hardest thing for you to write? What trope? What part of the book is the hardest for you to write? You struggle with it.
Hmm.
Like some people say it be the smeck scenes. I can't say that word because we on TikTok. Some people say the smeck scene. Some people say it be the plot. What's hard for you?
I don't think any part of the book is hard for me. I think the most difficult. part of the process for me is my first draft. And I know a lot of authors will say, well, Miss Moore, if you outline, it'll take care of the problem. But for my brain, it's just too vast. It's too much, right? So it's the first draft because I'm literally telling myself the story. With Zaddy Ink book, let me tell you something. This first draft kicked my butt. And the reason being, I usually type on my computer. I had to handwrite some of that first draft. I had to voice transcribe some of that first draft. That's how hard it was. I had got to a point where I was like 15,000 words in, and I was like, where is this story going? So I had to voice transcribe, as much as I hate that, because you got to go back and clean all of that up.
Right.
And then handwriting. And then you have to go in and retype it in. But once I get my first draft down, the rest it's my favorite. The editing is my favorite. I love it because it's like you really put all the pieces in together and you get to evaluate what you had as a whole, and then you go in from there. And each
So I gotta take this and put this here, put this here, and it's a done deal.
When I get to the second draft, I know what words I have to erase and get rid of. I know what I have to write over. I know what I have to expand on, and then I go from there. And then that's what I do for my second draft. And then when the third draft comes, I'm going through there and I'm doing dialogue. I'm making sure the dialogue is realistic to that character. I'm not just throwing lines in there and these people sound. That's why if you read through my books with the dialogue, the dialogue is specific to that character. Them other characters not going to say what that person said. So even if it doesn't say that person said, you know who's talking. So I go through and clean up my dialogue, make sure that's flowing, and different things. Just go through and do different passes for different things and make sure.
I think that's my challenge is dialogue tagging, making sure that you don't always have to have a he said, she said, or she was excited. You have to know who's talking to who. So I think that's a challenge for me right now, but I'm learning.
You're learning, and the more you write and the more you do it, then the better off you'll get. The only way you'll get better is to continue to do it. Just continue to do it, and after a while, you'll be like, "Oh, yeah, I did that." Okay. So yeah.
Do you have a writing?
Writing on?
Huh?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, dear.
No. Do you have to put your writing on a deadline?
Yeah, I do. I do have to put my writing on a deadline, Darrell, because if not, I won't get it done. I'll sit back and be like, "Oh, I got all this time. I got this time." But if I know I want to be done with a specific project by a certain time, I know how long it's going to take me to do each subsequent draft, and I know it's like, yeah, nah, you got to get on the ball. Even if, and I also am so strict with my deadlines that I will give myself that buffer. So if I say, okay, I want something done by January the 15th, I gave myself a buffer already. Because I already know me. I'm going to get it done before then. And if I don't get it done before then, I'm still, my next deadline date is still, I'm still adding in a couple of days of buffer.
But what's your turnaround looking like? Is that like 30 days, 45 days, 2 months?
You mean per draft or for a whole project?
For a project.
If it's a shorter project, like about 10, 15, 20,000 words, I can do that in 2 months. I can do that in 2 months. If it's a longer project, like 30, 35,000 words, maybe 4 to 5, but I take breaks in between. So it might be like 2 weeks in between each draft. I might take a break. But with Accepting Destiny, I wrote that book last February of 2023. I wrote Accepting Destiny and the next one, Unfamiliar Territory. I wrote those back in 2023. But I did the anthology project and a couple of other projects, and then the Zaddy Ink project, and then I came back to it. And I had to make the decision because last year I was like, I wrote the second draft for Accepting Destiny last summer. And I was like, okay, well, you want this to be a fall book. And I had to make the executive decision to say, Lou, it's not ready. You can throw it out there. You know what I'm saying? You can do that. But the story you actually want to tell and the way you want to tell it, you can't do it. I'm sorry. My name on it. I couldn't in good conscience do it. So I held it for a whole year and then went back to it. After I finished Zaddy Ink, then went back to it and finished it.
Can you work on multiple projects, more than one project at a time?
Yes, ma'am. I usually do 3 projects at a time, and I told myself that I need to slow down, so now I'm only doing 2.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
I tried to do one, and I don't know the way my mind works. I can't. Like I'm literally working on 2 projects right now, and I have 2 other projects literally already written out in journals, characters, names, songs in my head, the playlist, all that stuff. So
Child, I'm just saying the way, and I don't mean this in any kind of way, but the way you authors your minds work, I'll be like, what
yeah,
be going on? Do you feel
well,
like,
that's what he do.
do you feel like your writing is cathartic? Do you feel like it's therapy for you? I mean, is this your sitting on the couch moment?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I didn't realize how much so until my 17-year-old said it one day, and he was like, "Oh, mom, you going there?" No, I said something about self care. I was like, "Oh no, because I'm doing some self care stuff," and he was like, "Mom, your writing is self care," and I was like, "You know what, son, it is." you know, because now that I think about it in the grand scheme of things, and I go back and I read some of my old books, like when I was up there with you guys reading through Karma and Tyrone, like reading through those books that I wrote and published 3 years ago, I discovered different aspects of the stories that was at a deeper level. And I was like, Dad, Lou, that's how you process this, or that's how you process that, or that's so it's definitely healing. And you really don't realize it until after the fact.
Do you ever find that sometimes when you're going through things that you find them in your books, or do you try and keep that separate?
Mm, I really don't like okay. So one of my books, When Two Bosses Collide. I don't know if you read When Two Bosses Collide. It's about
Not
the young
yet.
lady who owns a consignment store and she is a money launderer on the side for the cartel. And when she goes down to Miami, she the guy that she meets, he's on vacation and they meet each other, honey. And why he's a DEA agent, okay? So they on 2 opposite sides of the law and don't even know it. So that was my first chance at dabbling a little bit in intrigue and suspense, and I loved writing that story. Um, in the book, she has to take the trip because the person, her runner who usually goes, has a death in the family and her nephew gets killed. I wrote that story, and my nephew had just got killed. Another one of my other nephew. Like when I say it's been a crazy ride since I've been writing these books, since I started writing these books. My other nephew passed away like a week before his birthday. He got killed a week before his birthday. So when I was writing that book, and that scene was in there, like that was something that was true to my life. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it's things in there that are true to my life, but just written in a fictional way, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. 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 Um, when you write, and that okay, so when you include things like that's in your real life into the books, is it helpful, or is it like a whole crying moment? Because I know I wrote something, and it was like a little short story. This was years ago. Just trying to write it, and I just my journal turned into a little short story.
Mm-hmm.
I think I cried every word I wrote. Does that happen for you?
I I feel like metaphorically, yes. The tears don't flow from my eyes; they flow through the words on the page. If that makes sense.
First of all, you need to write that down because you're gonna need that. That is beautiful.
Thank you.
Um, that's beautiful. I like that. I like that. You might put that on a shirt. Um, do you read or watch reviews
I read
other
my
than
reviews.
mine? Because I know you see mine.
I read my reviews because, and I know the authors go. They get on me all the time because I don't have an email list. I don't outline. I don't, But for me, I don't do beta readers. I think 2 of my books I got beta readers on. The rest of my books I don't do beta readers. I don't do art readers. So when people review my books, it's literally my first feedback that I get from other people
Is there a
about.
reason why you don't do it?
I don't know. I think I don't.
Do you feel like it'll change the authenticity of your story if you have beta readers?
think that. It's still that little part of me that's still reluctant to share. So I know when I publish it, I gotta share it. You know what I'm saying? But it's still that little bit of reluctance in me to want to share so early. You know, because they say, "Oh, you supposed to get beta readers after like your second draft or your first draft or something." I'm like, no, I don't want anybody to read my story after my first or second draft. Then they're gonna be like, "This girl don't know what the world she doing." You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I guess I'm easing into it more. I'm easing it more into getting beta readers and getting art readers and stuff.
You know, you got some mark readers on already. You already know that.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know about beta readers. Somebody in there a beta reader, but it ain't me. But I will arc read all day long.
Okay. Okay.
I got to arc read a book now, and I had already said I wasn't, but she was like, "Can you please?" And I was like, "Okay." So I'm doing an arc read. What will your readers be shocked to know about you?
Hmm. Wow.
I know you know some of these questions. You done seen these interviews. I don't
Right.
know why you shocked up asking some of these same questions. Some of it's
Oh,
tailored to you, but some of them they just go. I'm just gonna ask her.
they must be surprised about me. Well, one thing that I smoke, but it's
Well,
something
that's
about
not
me.
a shock. We know that.
Yeah, y'all know that, so that's not a shock.
That's not
Like,
a shock.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What is something they would be shocked to know? I don't know. I don't know because I don't know. I feel like I'm an open book. I don't I don't know.
I'm trying to get the tea, girl. I'm just trying to get the tea.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. Maybe that speaking of the language. Mm-hmm.
And that language is
Francais.
okay.
It's French.
Je ne parle pas français. Mm. Comme ça. That's all I got for you. And I know how to say I love you. That's about it. I took it in
Oh,
high school and don't and forgot.
hold on. Something that people would be shocked. I don't even know why I said that. That I can sing. Yeah,
So you
I can
gonna
sing.
bust a song out? You gonna bust a little melody for us?
No, no, please don't. Don't put me on the spot like that.
Okay.
See, that's why I shouldn't say it. No.
No, I'm just asking. If I was gonna let you
Maybe one day.
share your talents, now if you don't want to, I'm not gonna force you, but you're gonna have to sing
One
one
day.
day.
Maybe one day I could. Maybe one day I'm gonna sing. I sing for the world.
Hell, just for me. I don't care about the other people. I just for our book club. Just just a little snippet. It don't have to be nothing long. How long or something? Just a little tune.
Look at Darrell telling me you can sing. Yeah, girl, I can sing.